Hey earthy people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gerard, Witch of Earth's Curious Goods, and today I'm going to show you Nutmeg Magic. So if you happen to stumble across this spice, or as the holiday seasons are approaching, you'll find that nutmeg may appear somewhere in your drink, your food, or somewhere during that table of feast. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so before we begin, I think it would be wise to just give you a little bit of background on nutmeg, right? So nutmeg came from the Banda Islands. It's located in Indonesia, and it has a very bloody and almost gruesome past, right? Because the Dutch came to those islands to get nutmeg, because nutmeg back then was a very expensive spice. Only the rich could afford nutmeg at that time period. So, they would equate to a pound of nutmeg would equal to like 7 cows, which was super expensive back then. So you can imagine that it was highly coveted. Well, the Dutch decided to, we want to corner the market. And so they went to the Banda Islands in Indonesia and massacred and enslaved the people of those islands all over nutmeg. So just to give you a little bit of that kind of past. So this is another reason why I want to draw attention to nutmeg, is that you may have it in your cabinet or in your spices and you're not really thinking about that spice. Or you may taste it in your coffee or on a pie or pastry, and I want you to know that nutmeg has really progressed, that it was able to be cultivated to be more, so that way it's everywhere. It's accessible to everyone, and it's not as expensive. So don't underestimate nutmeg. Now that you got a brief little history and some of its background, it is connected to fire. So that element fire is very fast-paced. It adds that heat to any kind of magical workings. So with nutmeg, whether you have it in powder form, usually you come across it in powder form, at least for me. There is the whole form of it, and if you have the whole form, that's perfectly fine. You can still do the magic. But if you have it in the whole form, the nut form, then you can powder it down. And if, like I said, if you just have the powder form, that's what I'm using today. Now, nutmeg is associated with money, fidelity, success, so it's a great manifestation alternative, especially if you don't have cinnamon. You always hear about cinnamon, and even with me, I use cinnamon heavily in my craft, but I don't want you to overlook nutmeg. So if you don't have cinnamon, nutmeg is a great alternative. However, if you combine the two, which is I'm going to show you some of its magic, if you combine the two, it makes it even stronger, okay? Remember, in previous videos I told you layer upon layer advances your magic, advances the spell. So if you combine, so for instance, a cinnamon stick with nutmeg, and you sprinkle the cinnamon stick with your nutmeg, and then add it to your manifestation work, it makes it stronger. It happens faster. So if you want your spell work, maybe you did a petition and maybe it's taking a while and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish it was a little bit faster. You want to add nutmeg and cinnamon, right? Both of them are associated with fire. Both of them are connected to manifestation. So combining that adds some oomph to your manifestation, to your petition work. So you would just sprinkle some onto a cinnamon stick, put that cinnamon stick with your petition. Some spiritualists and witches will even burn the cinnamon stick with the nutmeg on it to also enhance it, sort of creating an incense. But what I usually do is I just take the cinnamon stick, I just sprinkle it onto the cinnamon stick, and I'll wrap my petition around it, and then when it manifests, then I just burn all of it together. Other witches, they will do the same method, but in order for it to manifest, they burn it, and signifying that they're releasing the spell, giving it to the universe. I've found success with just adding it with my petition, with my actual manifestation work. Great for those of you that are doing money bows. If you have cinnamon sticks, add nutmeg to the cinnamon sticks to your money bow. That gives it even higher energy for manifestation, for success, for money, which is what we want, right? Another big thing, if you have a green candle, right, you're going to take your green candle. If you have money oil, if you have success oil, crown of success oil, you're just going to rub it onto the candle, and then you're just going to rub this into the nutmeg, and now you've just created a manifestation candle, a money candle. Okay, now if you don't have success, crown of success oil, money oil, attraction oil, if you don't have any of that, just use olive oil. Another good one would be safflower oil, and when you rub it onto it, then you're just going to rub it into your nutmeg, and there you go, and then you'll burn your candle. Now the secret to activating this, if you've been here this long through the video, I'm going to tell you. The secret to it is, as you are burning this candle, right, you are not going to do wishes in your head. You're not just going to visualize money or the amount of money that you need. You're going to see it already happen. And for instance, it's completed. So say it's an electric bill, right? You're going to visualize that electric bill, how much you owe, and then you'll see the words paid in full. See how happy you are. Then you burn the candle, okay? So you're putting intention into the candle. I like to rub my hands together as I'm visualizing and then hold it over the candle. And then see that manifestation, that intention going into the candle. Now, if you're not good at visualization, that's perfectly fine. You'll just say it out loud, okay? Say it out loud and as you're holding your hand over the candle. So I hope that you found this video super helpful. I don't want you to overlook nutmeg, and also to give you an alternative to cinnamon. Well, I hope you liked today's video on nutmeg. Just to draw some attention to it, I feel like it isn't really talked about, yet it's found in a lot of cabinets and found in a lot of foods and desserts. A lot of atrocities were committed in the aspect of all of us getting nutmeg, of nutmeg finding its way to all of our lives, and in grocery stores and then some. So a little bit about the past. Hopefully you try some of that magic. You'll find that it adds a lot of power to your spells, your manifestations, and to your wishes. So until next time, stay earthy, stay magical, and don't forget, love yourself and others. Bye for now.